Hello, my name is Stella Luca. If this is your first time here, I am passionate about marriage, parenting, family life in general. If you're a staying friend, thank you so much for coming back. Please like, subscribe, and share with your friends so that it will encourage me and motivate me to create more content. Now, last week we talked about some of the mistakes long distance parents do make, including myself, and then we talked of how to improve ourselves in order to be better parents. And better parents will always raise children that will be impactful in the world to make this place a better place in the near future. Well, thank you so much for coming back. I will not take so much of your time. If you can spare 5 minutes, then we are good to go. Today we are talking about our responsibilities as parents in the life of our children and how to discipline them to be better human beings. Let me put a disclaimer here. I am not a psychologist. I am not an expert in parenting. However, whatever I share on the social media is strictly and completely based on my first-hand experience, on what I have gone through, some of my challenges, my childhood, my background, and all that. And I'm also willing to learn from the world what other people are doing and how I can improve on myself. I am raising 4 boys, and to me, that is important, because if I focus on bringing the right kind of men, that means I am saving 4 families. That means I am helping 4 girls from heartbreak. Yeah, so it is very important to me. I am very particular and I am very intentional when it comes to my parenting. So I listen to psychologists, I read books about child upbringing, and that is where all this information that I'm going to share today is going to be based on. One particular person that comes to mind is Dr. Jenkins. I will share the link below. So if you're interested, you want to know more, you can go to him. He really talks about good stuff. He has good advice to parents, and you know how to raise your children positively. Some of the things that we should not say to our children, how to teach our children to be more responsible. So as I was prepping for this podcast, I was able to go to his links and see some of the things that I could actually use here, and I will share his links below so that you can check further. So according to him, there are 2 things you have to teach your children in order to make them responsible children and to discipline them. Discipline with love. So I was creative enough to come up with 5 points based on my some of the experience and what I have heard from other people, including what he has said. Now, the first thing is to teach your children to listen. Very difficult. Second is to teach your children how to think. You have to be very creative. Now, it makes it worse for some of us who are even staying away from our children. It becomes so difficult to teach them to to that level where they can easily listen and be and think and make decisions for themselves. So my husband and I have a very creative way of how to bring our children. Number 1 is to give them choices. We give them 2 choices. We say, you can either choose a good thing, and this will be the repercussion, or choose to do a bad thing, and you will also face the repercussion. That's the first thing. In here, we talk about, well, for instance, if you do your homework, you will have no problem with the teacher. You will score highly. You would have learned, and you would have. And if you perform better at the end of the year, you get good gifts. You get whatever it is that you want to do. Or you can choose not to do your homework. We get a report from the teacher that you have not done your work. We yell at you, you get punishment, we take away your gadgets, we disconnect you from internet. So the choice is up to you. If you want to do the good thing, you also get you benefit from it. If you decide to do the wrong thing, also you face the consequences. That's what we always do to our children to ensure. And then trust me, nobody wants their internet to be disconnected. Nobody wants their gadgets to be taken away. Somehow they will find themselves doing things without being pushed. That's one. Giving them two choices, to either do good and benefit, do bad and face the consequences. The second thing is to put responsibility on them. We tell them, up to this point, everything you see in this house, the TV, the food, the good life, the school fees, it's ours. It's my husband and myself. It's ours, it's not yours. Okay? So, if you decide to do either otherwise, you also face the consequences. You will be out on the street, you will have no job in future, or if you are misbehaving and they chase you away from a good school, you come and stay home and we take you to a bad school. So the choice is yours, to either do good for yourself so that you also live, be happy, or you can do bad and it's up to you. That is your responsibility. It will cost me nothing, it will cost your father nothing, because for us, we have done our part. We are old enough, each of us are working, each of us have got the things that we have, all the resources you see in this house, it's ours. So no yelling, nothing. It is up to you. If you do good, you see good. If you do bad, it is up to you. So we put the responsibility on them. The third thing we always do, is we are very creative in laying down the consequences of what we do. We go extra mile of, either bringing a movie of somebody who is bullying and the repercussion that they will face in that movie, or we tell them, we even come up with stories. I know that they are growing. One day probably they will listen to this podcast, but I hope they will know that I am doing it. We were doing it for their own good, for their own well-being. So we come up with stories. We talk about how a child was not listening, was misbehaving, and how their life ended badly. So when they hear this, they be like, no, we are going to do better so that we don't end up like. We have so many creative stories that we come up with. And then we tell them, this one, you don't have to be there. On phone, I say, put the volume, the speaker, put the phone on a loudspeaker. And I tell them, I am just telling you this because there was this boy who was doing this kind of thing and it didn't end. And then there is also this person who was doing ABCD, and guess what? This person got, a PlayStation, something very good. I don't know, iPhone something, because of the good things that it motivates them to be like, okay, if we are to do very good, maybe we are going to also be getting this. So we are very creative in that manner. So we lay down the consequences of what, of a repercussion of what will happen if somebody is living against what they are being told, and somebody who is following the rules and regulations of the house. And then that's the fourth one. The third one, sorry. And the fourth one, we always ask if they have any question. We put it back to them. We explain everything. We say, someone comes to me and says, I want to go for this party, I want to go for a birthday party or something like that. I'll be like, okay, where is it? They tell me, and if I find it like it's a nearby house, it's not a big problem. It starts early and ends early, and they can easily locate the place and come back. I normally approve them, they go. And also, if I see it's not a good area and it is far from the house, or maybe they will not be able to come back, or there is no one to take them there, or in that house there is no supervision, no one is supervising them, I normally say, they cannot go. I tell them not to go for such kind of parties. But you find that boys are boys. They be like, but why, and things like that, and probably. So now me, I don't argue and just say, okay, it's fine. There are two things. You can either go and you face the consequences later of not listening to your parent, or you can stay in the house and do what you are expected to do, and then you don't get into trouble. After explaining this, without shouting, I asked them, is there any area where you feel like I should explain further? Is there anything you want us to discuss further based on what I have just said, or why I have turned you down, why I have refused you from going? So that, they have the freedom of to either give me details if there are some things that they did not bring out, to just explain further. So I give them that room to show them that I'm willing to listen to them, and also to explain to them further where I am saying no to their requests. So that is the fourth one. We always pose a question back to them and be like, out of these things that we have discussed, is there any other area you want me to explain, or do you have any other question on what I have said, so that I can say it again? Should I repeat myself? So that is what has been working for us, and that's how we have been creative in handling our discipline on a long distance parenting. Now, there are scenarios where they go wrong completely. They do otherwise. They do opposite of what it is that we have told them to do. So they are faced with either punishment, or we actually apply what we say that we would do. For instance, we will say, okay, now that you failed to listen to what we are saying, we are going to take away your gadgets, or you're grounded for this number of days, or we are taking away, suspending you from receiving pocket money for a particular period of time. Now, as this number 5, I call it punishing with, discipline with love. So to show them that we love them, but just we do not like what it is that they have done, we normally give them a room to defend themselves. We say, okay, now this is what is going to happen. Because you do not listen to what we are saying, so this is what is going to happen. Is there a way? Is there anything else? Is there any reason you want to put forward, so that this punishment will not go forward? My boys are very defensive. There are those ones who will always say, yeah, I have something to say. Yes, I've been a good person. I've listened. It's only this time, and seem like that. So me, I am thinking this punishment, instead of having 1 week of this punishment, maybe it should be reduced to 2 days. Or somebody will be like, but mommy, I have done a good job, something like that. Whatever good deeds, or they review what they have done, and probably give us the reason why they actually went against what it is that we told them not to do, to see if there is really a reason for us to reduce on the punishment or not to. For instance, one day, one of our sons, we told them not to go for a party, and then one of our youngest decided to go. And because of our youngest went, the older ones decided to follow him. Their intention was to go there, to go and bring the youngest back home. But for me, I told them that I told you, all of you, not to go, and you decided to go. After saying that, now I'm going to punish them and I'm going to take all their gadgets away, is there any reasons why they want this punishment not to go? They said they would want to defend themselves. Okay. The two who went to pick the young ones said, for them, they did not go there for the party. They went there because the youngest one has gone for that party, and so they have gone to bring this boy back. So I told them, why did you decide to go yourself? Why did you not call me to say, now that our youngest brother has gone there, we are going to pick him? Why did you not do that? Why did you just decide to go. So they say now that is the area where they have made a mistake. So in that case, instead of taking away their gadget for a whole week, the gadget should be only taken away for a number of 3 days. So that's what we do. We always discuss with our children, even when we are punishing them. We give that room for them to defend themselves. Of course, at the end of the day, we also look at what they are saying. Is it really making sense or not? So that we don't just, start butchering them even without analyzing what it is that they have done. Why? Because we are far. We are not there to see what is happening. So what we do is ask questions, explain ourselves, and ask them also to defend themselves. There are certain days when they will be like, I don't know how to defend myself, but I want somebody to speak for me. They will always call Rose. Rose is our caretaker. Our caretaker will always say, yeah, I was there and this has happened, and I think this person should not be punished because of this. So everybody is involved. The whole family is involved in ensuring that people do not go astray. So in summary, just to say how we are very creative in disciplining our children. The first thing is that we give them 2 choices of what will happen if you do good, or to choose bad and then face the consequences. The second thing is that we put responsibility on them. We do not take responsibility. We say, okay, you have gone to the neighbor and you have done ABCD. What we are going to do, we will pay for whatever damage you have done there, but you are going to pay out of your pocket. So if you have a pocket money of I don't know how much, it will be reduced, and then so that you know that we are not paying this thing out of our money, but you are paying it out of your own allowance. So we put the responsibility on our children. The third thing is that we lay down the consequences of the good and the bad. We are very creative in telling them the consequences of doing what is good and what is bad. And we do that by watching a movie. We do that by, telling them of something that we have heard, we have seen on news, on newspaper. For example, if you are wandering around in the neighborhood, many things can happen to you. Consequences of not listening, and how you will end up not studying, and how you will suffer when you grow up. So we lay down the consequences of what of doing good and doing bad. The fourth thing is we normally pose a question back after explaining something, or after passing a punishment. We normally pose a question to find out if they have anything else to say, or if they want to defend themselves, or if they want somebody to speak on their behalf for what has happened from their own point of view, how it should be handled. That is what we always do. We pose a question for them to either explain further, or for if they want us to explain further, we do explain further. The fifth one is we discipline with love, meaning we involve every other person in the case, and then we also allow them, we give them room to justify their action and to explain whether it was right. By the time you are executing the punishment that you have been given, you are sure we want you to believe that for sure what you have done is wrong and you deserve to be punished. Because we do not want to punish somebody who does not understand their mistake. We explain their mistakes to you, and then we give you the opportunity to defend yourself, or call somebody else to defend you, and finally you will have to carry on with the punishment that you have been given. Well, that is it for this week. We've been talking about discipline. I believe that I've shared my own experience with you, and if you have anything that you would like to share with me, please share down below. Let me know how you are doing, what you are experiencing, or how you are managing, or correct me if you feel like there is an area that that I need to improve on. Also share with me, comment below, like, subscribe, and share with your friends, and let us just help each other as mothers and as parents in general, and let us be of support to this our children. That is it from my side. Thank you so much. I see you then. Let's see how we can teach our children how to be responsible next week. Until then, bye bye.